how has bubble life been so far outside of basketball? What have you been doing to pass the time? And did you catch any fish the other day?
Uh, Bubble life's been all right. I know there's been a lot of stuff going out that everything's not as good as people were making it seem before, but hasn't been too bad, honestly, for me. Just doing the same things that I do normally at home. I'm a homebody person already, so there's not much different. Answer your question, no, I didn't catch any fish, but I plan on going fishing today. So hopefully I can prove everybody that I can actually fish a little bit, even though it was my first time. But things to do to pass the time, I've just been reading, playing video games, handling business off the court, trying to get more diverse in my investments for post-basketball.
Thanks, Norm.
Thanks, Josh. Next, we'll go to Mike Ganter from the Toronto Sun.
Hey, Norm. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Fishing's overrated, by the way. Wanted to ask you, the couple of your teammates yesterday were talking about how intense and even chirpy, I guess, a little trash talk going on. Is it more this time around than it would be at a normal training camp? And why do you think that is?
And we're competing. I mean, especially that second unit team. I was actually really happy and excited, the way the younger guys were getting Fred and Kyle and Pascal worked up and, taking their intensity level even higher. The game's been really good when we're getting after it and our in-team scrimmages and things like that. But I'm really excited, for where we're at right now and the potential to where we can get back to where we were before the hiatus and even to another level. And I just think guys are really excited to be back, to be playing and, really to lay it out on the line. We're here for however many months and, we're trying to make the most of it.
Are you seeing that second unit kind of develop a personality like the bench mob did in previous years?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think we have our own unique feel and playing style, and I just think we have a very hungry group of individuals that want to go out there and prove themselves, top to bottom. We want to be able to go out there and make sure that the coaches and the starting unit knows that we're not going to have no dip off in performance or intensity when we go out there and play and get ready for these games.
And because of the different circumstances, I mean, you're sort of a 4 months without basketball, and then sort of a late start and then or a restart. Do you think guys, maybe the sort of end of rotation guys, just on the fringe of the rotation guys, can look for more playing time this time around because of all that?
Yeah, I think so. And I know I've seen a couple interviews with Coach Nurse talking about how he's going to approach the restart and getting guys back in playing shape and building the chemistry up. I think it's an opportunity for me and those other guys, to go out there and improve and show that, we can contribute, and continue to help this team get to where we want to be. I think everybody's having that chip on their shoulder to go out there during these practices and these scrimmage games coming up, to go out there and prove that they can be relied on in the rotation.
All right. Appreciate it. Thanks, Norm. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Now we'll go to Doug Smith.
Hey, Norm, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I hope you're reading everybody's stories every day to learn these things from other people's interviews. We appreciate that very much. Have you decided what you're going to put on your jersey, and how did you reach that decision, and who did you consult to come up with whatever you came up with?
This topic.
Well, that's part of the reason that the bubble is the thing.
I love the topic. I love the question. I've been having a lot to say about this. I think I've made it clear where my stance is. In regarding to the jerseys and things, I was really disappointed in the options that were given to us. First and foremost, I feel like with a topic just like this, is social justice that we're fighting for. The fact that we were boxed into a list of 28, 29 sayings was really unfortunate. We got a lot of guys in this league that have a voice, have been using their voice through this time, and we're really excited about the whole thing about being able to change our last names and put a a quote there that represents where we stand and what we want to say and how we feel about this. And I was really upset about the whole change and how we're really limited. I felt like the list was very cookie cutter and really doesn't really touch the topics of what we're trying to achieve here. But with that being said, I chose Black Lives Matter. I felt like that was the most radical saying that spoke to where I stand on this. And yeah, I was really disappointed in the list, but I didn't really consult anybody because I already knew what I wanted to put. I knew where I wanted to stand on this matter and what I wanted to say, and it was really close to me and how I felt at the time. But being as this was the list that was presented to us, I went with Black Lives Matter.
Would you have liked players to have more of an input into whatever that list became? And obviously, you would like it to be bigger than 28 or 29. How is the disappointment that the players weren't involved in that process more, or what do you think it is?
I think it's a little bit of both. Honestly, for me, I wish there wasn't even a list. It's a topic where it's freedom of speech. And you're taking your name off the back of your jersey to put something that matters to you. That speaks volumes to where how you view things and your approach to life. And we shouldn't be boxed in to say you can only say this much. This is okay for you to say. We shouldn't be boxing on a topic like this. I felt like the rules to this should have been, as long as it wasn't anything explicit or any cursing in your saying, that you should have been able to put whatever you want on the back of your jersey, because it is your last name that you're removing. It's you. And it speaks to yourself. So I don't think there should have been a list at all. I don't think we should have been boxed into 28, 29 sayings. We shouldn't have been boxed into, oh, you're only going to wear it for this many games, like whatever it is. We shouldn't have been boxed in. We should have been able to have whatever we want on the back of the jersey, as long as it's not anything explicit.
Thanks very much, Norm. I really appreciate your input and thoughts on these matters.
Of course.
Thanks, Doug. Next, we'll go to Aaron Rose from SI.com.
Hey, Norm. Tough to transition off that important topic, but I want to ask you just about basketball. Are you guys, the second unit, kind of envisioning a different looking playoffs this year, or do you think it'll be kind of more standard? Are you worried about kind of injuries to other guys or potentially, obviously, the virus? Or do you think by the time the playoffs roll around, things will look pretty typical?
I think we're looking at it and approaching it just like we would any other playoffs. We're not really focused and worried about injuries and things like that. You really can't focus on things that you really can't control. All you can do is go out there and lay it on the line and give your all to your team, because we're at the end of the day, we're trying to win a championship, and that's our main focus. Everything outside of that, I know the league and the team is doing everything they can to make sure that it's as safe as possible to go out there and play. So I'm not really worried about being in the bubble and risk of the virus spreading and getting in here. I'm just focused on what the team needs us to focus on and getting the guys ready in our second unit and going out there and competing.
Thank you.
Next question is Steven from Sportsnet.
Hey, Norm. Thanks for doing this as always.
Of course.
I was just wondering, like in regards to that second unit, like do you kind of see yourself as a leader of that second unit, and if so, like what are you kind of communicating with the guys like in these scrimmages with the first unit?
What was that last part that you said? Kind of.
Oh, no, like what are you communicating with the guys when you're competing against the first unit?
What's up, CB? You good? A guy's walking by. Yeah, I definitely consider myself to be a leader. I know the guys consider myself the leader of that second unit. I've had multiple talks with Stanley, Pat, Chris, TD, all those guys about how they see me, how they feed off me, how they go as I go. So I've definitely taken a more vocal approach to it, talking to them, especially yesterday in practice. Telling them that we gotta go at these guys because we want their spot. They're in the position that we want to be in. So we're not going to take it easy on them in these drills. We're not going to let them feel like they can just do whatever they want, take it easy, and just go through the motions. We're going to go after them. We're going to compete, and we're going to show them that we're here, and we want more. And that approach, just puts things in perspective for them. The approach they have to have every day. Every day you're out here trying to prove something. Every day you're out here trying to show why you belong. And going at a unit like we have here in the first unit with a championship squad, all 5 being able to be a part of that championship run last year, really helps us with our confidence, when we're winning and beating them in drills, getting them frustrated, getting them mad at the coaches for calls that are not being made or whatever it is, so I think it's a confidence boost for us, and I'm definitely excited and prepared to lead this unit and get them going and get them to the level that we need to be at.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks, Stephen. Next, we'll go to Vivek Jacob from Complex.
Hey, Norm, thanks for doing this. We've seen some of the players like Drew Holiday, Dwight Howard, Patty Mills announce that they're going to use their salary from the remainder of the season towards social justice causes. I was just wondering if you've put any thought towards something similar or just where you're at with that.
I think what those guys have done is amazing. I just saw Drew Holiday interview about what he was going to do with the remaining of his salary. I'm doing something similar. And efforts to support the areas that I want. I did something with my Understand the Crime brand already, and the recent drop of my spring-summer line, donating all those proceeds to organizations, and I'm going to double that of whatever we raise. So I'm gonna put my own money into that as well, just to beef up the charity donation, and I'm talking to my team as well to do some other things around my community. Talk to somebody on the NBAPA side about them helping and donating some money into the efforts that I'm doing. So it's an ongoing effort, it's an ongoing fight. Nothing's going to be done or changed overnight. So I'm here for the process and growing and learning and contributing in ways that I can and see fit. And
just to follow up, on a basketball note, I know you said you watched a lot of video over the quarantine and the lockdown. How easy or how hard has it been to sort of try and do some of the things that you were seeing in video and you were trying to change in a 5-on-5 setting?
I think it's been a bit of 50-50. I think my pace and making other reads that I was kind of missing during the season has been really good. But you're also trying to get, your footing back and your balance controlled, getting back into the flow of basketball and competitive of play, in a 5-on-5 setting. Did a lot of individual work to stay in shape and stay ready to make sure you don't have that big drop off. But I think it's been fun. Some days it's really great and you're making all the reads, and then some days, you're kind of off balance and sped up a little bit. But I definitely see a growth in just the game slowing down and me not being super sped up or quick to make a play or anything like that, letting the game come to me and controlling the pace and tempo.
Thanks a lot, Norm. Appreciate everything you're doing.